Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be analyzing polling and the path to victory for Trump to show you that he's on track to win 2024. Hit the like button and subscribe if you want more content just like this. Follow the Twitter and join the Discord server in the description down below. And so we see here that we also have a Michigan poll crowdfunding thing. You know, the thing is, for this, we actually conduct our own polling, and we need help fundraising for the polling because the polls are not free to conduct. We're doing about 750 registered voters in each of the states of Michigan and Pennsylvania. We are also on the 538 aggregate, at least SoCal is, so make sure to go ahead and donate if you can. Now, back to the video. And so, pretty much, guys, right now, Donald Trump in the state of North Carolina, if we were to go here, in the head-to-head, he's up by 5.8% now. He's up by 5.8%. In the three-way race or the five-way race, he's up by 7.5% in the polling. And the polls underestimated Trump there by quite a few points. So I'd go out on a limb and say that state's probably guaranteed for Donald Trump. He won it twice in the last two cycles. At this point, he pretty much won it twice. I mean, worse the second time than the first, but the national environment was more Democrat the second time, so it makes a little bit of sense. And so that's where we see now that the nation is shifting quite a bit from Biden +8 in polling to now Trump +5. That's a really big difference. So that's why you're seeing states like North Carolina, the state polling looks way different than last time. If we look at the state of Georgia, here's the thing about Georgia. Georgia, the head-to-head matchup is pretty close, but we do have a lot of Democrat internal polling kind of skewing the results. But if you go to the five-way race, Trump actually leads by 5.3%. So that puts the state in the likely Republican column, at least in probability of flipping to the Republican Party. The state actually went Democrat last cycle very narrowly, due to African-American turnout being really high for Joe Biden. However, I don't actually suspect that that's going to be the case again. Donald Trump really, went out there and won it pretty easily in 2016, but a large third-party vote share was taking away votes from Clinton. So this state probably would have been within 2 points if it wasn't for third-party candidates. And here it was only a 7.8 percentage point victory for Romney. So the state's been trending to the left. However, I think this time around, Biden's going to underperform with the African-American vote by quite a bit, and turnout's going to be a lot lower with them. And so I think that he's probably going to pick them off. And so here, we literally are multiple states away from the presidency. There are many paths for Trump to win. He could win through Virginia, New Hampshire, Nebraska second, or even New Hampshire, Maine at large, which would be funny if these states went red, because if these states went red by a few points, they would probably be called earlier since they are the first states to start counting. And so Trump may actually be able to win the election pretty early depending on where he wins. Now, if we look at the state of Pennsylvania, this is very fascinating. The head-to-head matchup has Donald Trump up in the state. If we actually go to it here, if we go to the Pennsylvania head-to-head, it actually has them ahead by 5.3%. And the thing about the state is that there is not really a lot of candidates that have actually gotten ballot access, at least that are third-party candidates that much. And so this is going to be good news for Trump, because the head-to-head polling suggests he actually does better than Biden when he doesn't have third-party candidates. And the polling here has actually been pretty accurate. I mean, in 2020, it was basically spot on. And in 2016, Clinton pretty much didn't really she underperformed the poll. You see here 2.1%. Trump ended up winning by 0.7%. The polls overestimated him by 2.4% or something like that. Overestimated Clinton in this case. And the polling ended up narrowing up as election day came. However, usually Donald Trump is the one to gain. So there is a chance that at some point closer to the cycle, Trump may actually gain in the polling even more, which would be crazy if that actually occurred. And right now, Donald Trump leads by 5. Here at On Point Politics, we have Donald Trump winning the state by about 8 points, and it seems like The polls are finally starting to catch up to that. This is a state that we are going to poll next, but it's funny because if you add that to Donald Trump's column, he already gets 270 electoral college votes. He is already the president of the United States, literally with just those just those 3 states. And North Carolina, realistically, had already gone to Donald Trump twice, and so you could even really put that in the safe column, realistically, and that already gives Donald Trump the presidency, essentially. He is already at 270. He could win with a combination of Nevada and Arizona. He could win with the combination of Nevada, Arizona, and get Nebraska's 2nd congressional district. He could do that. At this point, it doesn't even matter if he gets Pennsylvania, but let's say he gets Nevada and Arizona. He literally has, like, basically, there's only one state that wouldn't even give him a decisive win. Every other state would basically give him the win. New Hampshire would give him the win. Wisconsin would give him the win. In the head-to-head polling in these states, Arizona, believe it or not, in the head-to-head polling is actually a pretty big margin. It's like actually 5.4%. Donald Trump's actually polling ahead there pretty heavily. And back in 2020, the polling here was also not that off on RCP either. It was like 0.6 percentage points off. So that's also interesting to know as well. We can actually see here, if we were to go to, let's see, the state of Nevada. Right now, Donald Trump actually leads by 5 here. So literally, in all these states, he actually leads by more than 5, essentially. He pretty much leads in all these states by more than 5. In the 5-way race, let's see what the 5-way race has. 5.2, so it's basically the same. There was a period of time where he was leading by way more in the 5-way. Basically, after the debate, Trump's lead basically grew by a ×2 multiplier, which is pretty crazy. So now you have the Sunbelt all polling outside of 5 points for Donald Trump, including the state of Pennsylvania. That gets into 278 or 287. But what's quite funny about this is that Michigan and Wisconsin, yes, the polling there is closer, but the polling errors there are always a lot worse. You're talking about Wisconsin being 6 points off each cycle in favor of Democrats. If you were to add 6 points to this, that's a 7.5 point victory in the state of Wisconsin. Michigan, it's like a 5 point error. If you were to apply that thing in Michigan, the error of 5 points in Michigan, and it's actually a little bit more than 5, I think. Oh, here it's like not as much, but on 538, it's a lot bigger. Clinton, let's look at that. She underperformed or overperformed by 3. So if you were to apply that to that, Michigan would be lean, essentially. So Donald Trump, in all of these states, is basically leading by quite a bit, looking at historical polling errors and even the current polling data. I mean, he's already 287 in all these states where he's basically polling ahead by over 5. So it's not even a matter of does he win the election, because he is very favored. I'm very surprised that a lot of these election models don't even have him above an 85% chance, because he's literally polling in all these states outside the margin of error. States like Arizona, Nevada, where he's never even polled outside of 5 points, or even Pennsylvania even. He's never polled ahead of 5 points in Nevada, Arizona, or Pennsylvania in the average. Georgia and North Carolina, he has to an extent. And North Carolina, I don't even think he did either. So he's polling ahead way stronger in states where he didn't even either poll ahead or was never above 5 before. And now he is. So now it's looking really bad for the Democrats, because they basically have no path at this point in time. I think Biden is their best shot. I think if they pick somebody else, they're going to do a lot worse. I think Kamala Harris would do a lot worse. I think that Gavin Newsom would actually be worse than both of them, because his name ID really sucks. And there's literally 120 something days until the election, and there's no way you're going to be able to fix the name ID issue in that short of a period. Like, it just doesn't happen. So that's basically it. I mean, at this point, it's just not looking great at all. It's looking really, really bad for him, to be honest. It is not looking good whatsoever. So if you guys did enjoy the video, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want more content just like this. And I will see you guys in the next video.